What's up guys, this is Adam with TAT Express, and in this video I'm going to share with you one of Detroit's biggest flaws on their DD platform, and I also want to share with you what you can do to avoid any major problems happening to you. Guys, this is an educational video, so if you'd like this type of content, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're notified when we go live or when we release a new video. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can call us at 972-225-3017. Let's get right into this video. Okay guys, so what we have here is a DD15, and we have the oil coolant module removed. Now we're having to remove it to do a complete flush. I'm gonna show you what the oil coolant module all includes, but I just kind of want to show you how big of a job this is, and I want to show you what to be looking for so you don't have to actually have this type of job done. If you find a broken component, which I'm going to show you later, this is something that's going to need to be done if you have mains, which are going to be your main bearings, any damage. If there's any signs of damage on your mains, we're actually replacing the crank on this particular engine. Unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to move forward with on this. But I'm going to show you what you can do to avoid this happening to your particular DD15. So as I said, oil cooler module is removed. This is a pretty large component. It's of course what cools the oil, it filters the oil, and there's also a standpipe that I'm going to show you here that will cause this type of damage. And I want to show you what to look for. So let's move over to the table. I'm going to show you everything that's included in the oil coolant module. I'm going to show you what to look for. So let's move right over here to the table, guys. All right, guys, so we have the oil cooler module disassembled here. We got a couple extra parts I'm going to cover with you. But this is a pretty large assembly. It houses the oil cooler, of course, the oil filter here. And this is the standpipe that I want to discuss with you that I feel like is one of Detroit's just biggest flaws on this engine. And this particular standpipe is designed to hold this filter, your oil filter, of course. At the top of this standpipe is called a bypass valve. Now I'm going to give you some close-ups, but this bypass valve is basically designed to bypass the filter during a cold start situation so that the oil doesn't starve. Now the downfall to this particular design is if it's broken, like this particular one is, you can see how it's moving, and this is a new one. It doesn't move. It's very firm. You can feel it on there. When this particular standpipe is broken like this, it's bypassing the filter and supplying the mains, which are the mains for the crank journals, the mains for the piston rods, everything with just unfiltered oil, and it could damage the mains and cause some serious damage. So what I suggest you do, what we recommend everybody to do, is check these standpipes anytime you're doing an oil change, making sure that they're not broken. Guys, if you're doing your oil changes, check this standpipe. If you do find a standpipe that's broken, more than likely you probably already have some contamination. We would suggest a complete flush. That would be removing this entire assembly. As you can see there, this engine is going to be removed, so you wouldn't have to actually remove the whole front end of the engine. But you have to remove this particular item, and the reason so is there's so many different journals that this particular oil filter runs through. You have a thermostat housing on the outside of it here. So all this needs to be removed, cleaned very, very thoroughly, making sure no metals are left behind, because if any metals are left behind, recontamination can happen, and you can have a failure happen pretty soon. So this is a pretty large repair. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. This is not something that you want to overlook, which is the oil standpipe. As I mentioned, one of Detroit's probably biggest flaws on this particular engine. I'm not sure why they designed something that can just destroy and be damaged like this and cause so much damage to an engine that of course can be fairly new. This is a new standpipe. It's not that expensive, but it can cause some serious damage if it's not checked properly. Make sure that wherever you're getting your PMs done, that they're checking them properly. This particular system is going to be flush. When you do find metals in the system, The whole system is recommended to be flushed. This is removing this, as I mentioned. And the reason why is because if you just try to change the filter out and change the standpipe, but not flush the system, then you could still have contamination in the system, and you run the chance of recontaminating the system again and causing another failure. Now, when you do this particular job and you replace the gaskets, it's recommended to go with a new cooler, new standpipe, new filter, everything clean with new gaskets. You're going to want to prime the system. And it's just like priming the fuel system, you're going to be priming the oil system. And that's going to take about 8 quarts of oil. You're going to be priming into the front housing of this system here. Let me scoot this over here. All these different gaskets are going to need to be replaced whenever you disassemble this. New oil cooler is also recommended. These oil cooler modules are pretty large, as you can see. I mean, so don't be surprised if this particular job is pricey on the labor side, because you can see how large this housing is. It houses everything from the thermostat. This is the thermostat housing. This is the water pump. This is the water filter. And this is the particular oil filter housing that has your standpipe here threaded into this housing. This is exactly where it goes here. And of course you would have your top for your oil filter here. It's just a top here. And then this is where your oil filter goes in, like this. So this is the standpipe that was broken, caused contamination in the mains, because it bypasses, this is a bypass valve. It bypasses that, contaminates the whole system. As I mentioned, it's a pretty large job. It's a pretty heavy unit. So removing this, replacing the gaskets, cleaning it very well. This is part of the procedures during the flush as well. You don't want to recontaminate the system. This is just something I wanted to share with you guys. If you own a DD15 and you're doing your oil changes, be sure to check this standpipe. This one is broken. As you can see, this one's not broken. Be sure to check that standpipe. Not a very expensive repair on this standpipe, and it could cost you some major damage if it's ignored, guys. Okay, guys, so this is the oil standpipe, and I wanted to give you a close-up. This one here is broken. This is the bypass valve that's built onto it. It's basically just a shut-off valve, and you can see it's broken. This one's broken, and it's got a spring there. So whenever this is broken, it bypasses the oil filter and sends unfiltered oil down to your mains and causing some damage. So just wanted to show you a close-up of what that looks like. And I'm going to give you a comparison to what a new one looks like. As you can see, this one has minimal movement. It does move a little bit, but it's set in there. That is a good new one. So make sure to check this. If you do have one that's broken, make sure that's sticking out like this. Make sure to get that changed, and make sure to get that truck flushed. This is the two differences, guys. I just wanted to give you guys some close-ups so you can see the difference in there. Guys, make sure to check these out. Don't overlook those. Okay, guys, so I hope this video was useful for you. If you have a DD15, if you work on DD15s, make sure to keep an eye out on this particular failure. We're going to be replacing this one. This is a pretty large failure. Unfortunately, hopefully this never happens to you guys. If you have any information or if you have any questions, you can call us at 972-225-3017. As I mentioned, this is an educational video, so if you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're notified every time we go live or when we release a new video. Guys, we are also hiring here at our new location, so if you feel like you can bring value to our team as a service writer or a technician, be sure to apply online at our careers page. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can also call at 972-225-3017. Guys, until next time, be safe.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running. gon' shoot me down soon.